Liz Truss has resigned. In fact, a lettuce with a blonde wig has lasted longer than Liz Truss. Now, this is a joke that I'll explain later, but first, welcome to India Today Digital. I'm Anjali Eastwal, and in this video, we shall be telling you about the prime ministerial race and who all could replace Liz Truss. Now, it's been a musical chair, a session of musical chairs. It seems everybody wants their turn at the 10 Downing Street, and whatever is happening in the British government right now is sort of like the Tories are pulling their own government down again and again. It's the Tories tearing themselves apart. Now let's try and understand how the Tories, the Conservatives in the British government have subsequently failed to provide a stable government. If we look at Brexit, that happened in 2016, and that was the platform, the referendum that happened in 2016, and that was the platform that was used by the Conservatives to come into power. From 2016 till now, which is October 2022, they have changed 5 prime ministers. This will be the 5th prime minister that will be elected as a Conservative prime minister, and this is actually the same number in the last 37 years. Which is quite shocking. This goes to show how unstable a government the Tories have been giving. Now, let's look at the timeline of the Prime Minister. 2016, it was Theresa May. 2019, Boris Johnson came to power. September 2022, Liz Truss came to power after Boris Johnson was brought down by his own MPs and his own ministers who went on a spree of resignation. Almost 30 ministers resigned, and he was brought down because of certain scandals that were associated with him, which were mainly related to partying in 10 Downing Street. Now, after that, Liz Truss came to power in September 2022, and now we shall be seeing a new prime minister in another week. This is the timeline of prime ministers that have been offered up by the Conservative Party into the government. Now, let's try and look at how exactly are the different characters in this drama position. Rishi Sunak, the Indian origin former hedge fund manager, a young, rich person. He is someone who might get the backing of many MPs, as he was one of the people who stood against Liz Truss when in the final election race, and at that point of time he had very clearly stated that the tax cuts Liz Truss was proposing is not going to benefit the economy in the long run. In fact, he had sort of forewarned against the chaos the British economy is in right now. The tax cut that we saw from the Liz Truss government actually plummeted the pound and sort of sent the markets into a tizzy, a total turmoil, a chaos, which the government is still grappling with today. Now, this impacted the common man severely. It led to higher costs of living. Anyway, if you look at inflation right now, it's almost 10%, more than 10% inflation in UK, which is of course related to the global inflation and high fuel prices, but still, the people want a more stable government and something that would lead to easing of their life. Now, let's look at the different candidates. We told you about Rishi Sunak. He does enjoy that sort of a little boost that he was one of the first few people who had pointed out that this low tax, high growth policy is not going to work. Apart from that, there is another woman who will and has already thrown her hat into the ring, and that's Penny Mordaunt. She is the House of Commons leader, and Penny had thrown her ring into the hat even in the earlier round of prime ministerial race, and at that point of time she had come third. So she is also a strong contender, but she's not really a very popular leader. She doesn't have that, she doesn't enjoy that popular recognition amongst people. The third person who could be part of this race is the Defense Secretary Ben Wallace. Well, the first time around, he did not compete, but he is seen as someone who has given Britain a strong leadership during the Ukraine war, and he has been very firm with his stance, and he has led the country quite, I would say, proficiently during this time. Another possible is the hardliner Suella Braverman. We all know about her because she is one of the people who are extremely anti-migrant. She is someone who recently referred to liberals as tofu-eating liberati or something like that. I don't even remember. Like, it was a very condescending remark she had made in the parliament. Apart from that, she is seen as someone who is very anti-India or anti-immigration, and especially very hard towards Indian, which is quite surprising considering that she herself has Indian roots. Well, apart from that, there is Kemi Badenoch, not a very popular face, but another race, not a white person, and that sort of is something we've seen recently, that we've seen people of other race occupying important positions in UK government. So that is there, and she's also a hardliner, so that might work for her. But apart from them all, there is that one man that Britain voted for, and that is Boris Johnson. Well, Boris Johnson was taken down by his partying, but it seems that he might throw in his hat in the ring after all. There were rumors that he might be heading back to UK from his holiday in Caribbean, and if that is happening, he could say that I am the right person because I led you to a victory during the general elections. So this is a list of possibles who could be the Prime Minister, and many of us in India are actually hoping that it would be Rishi Sunak, but there is nothing to say that Rishi Sunak would be good for India. It's just that he has Indian origins. What do you think about this video? Do tell us in the comment section, and also for more news updates, subscribe to India Today.